Welcome, my friends, to this Fruits of Virtue podcast. The intent is to help you live a better life according to virtues, principles, to help you become your best self. I have some information I want to share today that I hope you will find helpful. I want to give an overview of the Fruits of Virtue book that I wrote a few years ago during COVID. Then I'd like to offer some suggestions on how we can make a difference in this crazy world that we're living in. We want, I think, most of us to feel like we're growing and changing. And I think also we want to contribute in some meaningful ways to make the world a better place. So a little bit about myself. I was a psychotherapist for many years. I found my work meaningful and productive. I think I did some good, but I found that something was missing. And I felt that there's a spiritual component to growth and change. I received some inspiration. I was riding my bike out in the countryside. It was during COVID, and I had a flood of inspiration, which resulted in these 12 virtues that became a book. So I will go into that right here. So the book is entitled The Fruits of Virtue, and I am trying to make the case that living a principle-centered life will bring you more peace and happiness, and to do it with intentionality. Not just haphazardly stumbling into these virtues, but that you seek to make these a part of your life. Of course, we never become perfect in this life. There's always room for growth. When we intentionally seek for something, we're more apt to reach those qualities that we're after. I identified 12 key virtues. They're based on natural law, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. I have them in clusters. If you can see on the screen, I have virtues that are in the area of belief, those of hope, faith, and wisdom. I have virtues in the area of sacrifice, virtues of humility, repentance, and patience. Those of character I have defined as morality, self-mastery, and courage. And those in the love area, the virtues of forgiveness, gratitude, and compassion. What is natural law? It's been with us a long, long time. It's been in the psyches of writers, clergy, priests, philosophers, teachers, educators for centuries. Essentially, it's the unchanging principles that are the basis for human behavior, human conduct. They're traditional values, time-tested truths, lived with for centuries. They're also known as morals or virtues. They've worked very well for individuals and civilizations. And when people practice these, they're happy, they are prosperous, they have well-being, they have peace in their lives. And when we don't, we see the destruction of individuals and civilizations. The founding fathers were studying renowned men. They looked at the writings of Aristotle and Socrates, Cicero, Montesquieu, Locke, Adam Smith, the Bible. They were looking for a cohesive set of principles on which to found this country. They discovered, as they studied these individuals, a thing called natural law. Thomas Aquinas defined that as the light of reason placed by nature, and thus by God in every person to guide him in his acts. And it's interesting, in the Declaration of Independence, it alludes to those, doesn't it? The laws of nature and nature's God, who entitled these principles or these freedoms. We often refer to these as life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The founding fathers, in their writings, indicate that we would only have freedom in this country when we lived virtuous lives. As the slide indicates, Benjamin Franklin said, only virtuous people are capable of freedom. As nations become corrupt and vicious, they have more needs of masters. George Washington said the Constitution, or our society, would only survive so long as there shall remain any virtue in the body of the people. James Madison wrote much of the Constitution, said to suppose that any form of government will secure liberty or happiness without any virtue in the people is an impossible idea. And finally, Thomas Jefferson, virtue is not hereditary. Virtue is not a permanent thing in our natures that must be practiced and internalized. So within natural law is this overarching principle of freedom. Freedom consists of two parts, the power to act and the power to be acted upon. So in some ways, this choice is mostly a binary proposition. You can act and make your own choices, or you can have others act upon you where you experience the consequences that other people choose for you. We're living in a very difficult world. I think most of us would have to have our head in the sands if we didn't believe that. You're starting to see more contrasts. We call these polarities. opposite conditions. They are the result of our choices or others' choices. So you see increasing love, and you also see increasing hate. You see good versus evil. People filled with hope, people filled with despair. People making effort to live good lives, to contribute to the world in meaningful ways, versus those who are complacent, who choose to do little or nothing. And then you see the polarity of freedom versus tyranny. Freedom is the power to choose, isn't it? The power to make choices and not be stifled as long as we're not harming other people. Imagine if we could focus on these 4 yellow-lighted areas of the 12 virtues. Could we bring more hope to people through our actions, through making meaningful contributions in our neighborhoods and our communities? Doing so would probably cause us to be a little more humble. If we're serving others, we're getting outside of ourselves. We're seeing the blessings that we have and trying to help and bless other people's lives. The courage to make a difference in the world, to stand up, to speak out, to get involved in our communities, in our school boards, in our governing bodies. Courage to make a difference. And of course, compassion, the most powerful virtue. To see suffering, to see pain and challenge, and to get involved and make a difference. What kind of life are you living right now? That's a question we can ask all of ourselves. I ask myself this every day. Do I have a plan, an agenda, an intentional way to become better, to grow, and to really make a difference? I've discovered a formula the last few years that I want to share with you that I think will bring you more joy and peace and meaning and purpose. There's lots of studies, statistics, research that indicates the happiest people have a spiritual or religious practice. Now, that can involve going to church, or it can involve meditation. It usually involves study of some kind, inspiring books, scripture. It will have a different meaning to probably everyone that hears this message today. But studies say when you congregate, when you gather with like-minded people, and you're studying virtues, you're studying to become and learning in ways to become a better person, you have greater mental and physical health. There's hundreds and hundreds of studies. I did a previous podcast on this that you might be interested in hearing about that. Number 2, create a vision board that you can look at every day along with some daily affirmations. This will change your life. You will grow more quickly toward the accomplishment of those goals on your vision board if you do this. Choose 7 to 10 things that you want to see come to pass in your life. You want to have better health. You want to travel more. You want to read more. You want to contribute in meaningful ways in the community. You want to have a better marriage. Identify 7 or 10 with pictures and a short phrase on that goal, and then develop some affirmation to go along with that. Identify a symbol that will inspire you. It perhaps is a problem area that you're struggling with, but come up with a symbol. I have a rock that I look at that has some things written on it. You can have a statue, you can have a picture, you can have anything. A cross. I have a set of beads that represent the 12 virtues. Come up with a symbol that will inspire you. Journal regularly. I don't journal every day, but I journal as I'm seeing meanings, life's lessons, understandings that are coming to me. I journal. Seeing connections with what I'm trying to do. Sometimes these are spiritual things that you can journal. Dreams that you're having. Aha moments. Things that are meaningful. And 5, finally, demonstrate love for yourself every day and for others. Go out of your way every day, above and beyond, to care for another human being in your home, in your neighborhood, in your community, and make sure you take time to take care of yourself. So we are our own agents, and we are free, regardless of your life circumstances. You have the power to act or to do little or nothing and let others act upon you. That's a powerful binary idea, I believe. The power to act, the power to be acted upon. Here's a couple of famous quotes. One from John Stuart Mill. Let not anyone pacify his conscience by the delusion that he can do no harm if he takes no part and forms no opinion. Bad men need nothing more to compass their ends than that good men should look on and do nothing. He's not a good man who without a protest allows wrong to be committed. We're here, my friends, aren't we, to make a difference. So we have to stand up. We have to get out of our homes, or we have to find some way to communicate truth and love and the virtues that we're hoping to practice. Margaret Mead, a famous sociologist of the past century, said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. In fact, it's the only thing that ever has." You may not change the world, but I believe you can change things in your neighborhood and even in your community by the simple acts of service that you perform. They go a long, long way. And then Thomas Paine, someone who I find so inspiring, who was writing up pamphlets, having them copied and distributed into bars, I think essentially, throughout New England, throughout the colonies, trying to get people to look at this opportunity for freedom, for independence. He said, "These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country, but he that stands by it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered, yet we have this consolation within us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. What we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives everything its value. Heaven knows how to put a proper price upon its goods, and it would be strange indeed if so celestial an article as freedom should not be highly rated." Where do you find yourself right now? Emotionally, politically, spiritually? What do you believe in? What do you stand for? Are you one who is going to act or wait to be acted upon? What can you do that will make a difference for someone, for something? And what will that mean for this moment in time? There's an opportunity in every community called Just Serve. If you go online, you can see opportunities to make a difference. Take a look and see if there's something that you have an interest in. Go down there and lift hands that hang down, the people that are weary, that are feeling some despair. With a smile and with efforts that you make in helping, you'll make a really big difference. My motto is 3 things. Be a good person, and you can do that by pursuing virtues. I've shown you the 12 virtues that I have. You can choose your own. There's many virtues. There's hundreds of things that we can pursue that will make us a better person. Serve well by doing something every day for another person. I worked in a hospital where the motto was every day go above and beyond in making a difference in someone's life. And make sure you love yourself. And if you do these things, you'll feel great. I hope this message will make a difference for you today. I'm just giving you some thoughts about striving to become a better person through the affirmations and the vision board and choosing virtues to work on. And number 2, get outside of yourself. Find some place in the community that you can make a difference. I wish you all the best, and I know that we can make a difference. So long for now, and take care. Goodbye.